Hey, good morning. Good morning. It is Saturday, March 15th, and it's been a bit since I've done a live, but here we are. And I want to dive straight in and talk about why I'm doing this. A lot of people are asking me, like on the private. So if you're joining me and you're watching this, please drop a comment. Like, let me know that you're here. Or if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're here and you've been following me for a while, welcome back. My name is Jen Zoe Hall, if you can't tell, and I'm doing something I'm calling Road to the Rescue. And there's an event called Road to the Horse, but this is a little different. And I've been working on this since about 2014, and if you see these beautiful palm trees in the background and beautiful pool, I'm at my friend Denise's house in just north of Jupiter, Florida. And I am here because we became friends 11 years ago. And she was the president of a horse rescue where I adopted and worked with several horses, but I adopted two. Those of you that know, you know my Bella. And she came to me. It was so interesting. It's bears telling the story at this point because really, like how I got to where I'm going, is gosh, it starts, what do they say? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And that was one of the first steps right after, I had a really tough divorce where I ended up sleeping on my old personal assistant, Lisa, who I'm meeting on Tuesday for a marketing meeting. Like, she was my assistant. She ran my errands and did my laundry. And I ended up landed on her couch at almost 40 and waiting tables, trying to like rebuild my life. Anybody here have a really tough divorce? I mean, it happens 50%, right? So right after that, I'd kept Trace, I'd kept my horses after the divorce, and I had connected with a rescue in South Florida, and I started working with them. And it happened while I was at Date with Destiny, a Tony Robbins event. So, anybody here do any Tony Robbins work? Like, he's a really interesting character. He's taught me a lot, that's for sure. And I was supporting that event after having done an intervention with him the year before. So, if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event and seen his interventions, you can relate to what I went through. And if you haven't, trust me, when you have 4,000 sets of eyeballs on you and a 6'7" man like cracking you open, things change. So a lot happened since then. I lost my brother to a drug overdose and became estranged from my father. I mean, it's just like so many things. And it's like there's five areas they say are really, can cause stress and trauma and change people's lives: moving, change a career, a birth, a wedding or a divorce, and a birth or a death. Right? Those are five big areas, and I was getting, except for being pregnant, thank God. I was hitting like all of them: career change, moving, lost my brother, got divorced, just all of these things. It was kind of like that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, then that's kind of what it felt like. But it led me back, it led me to the space where the one thing that I hung on to, and what I even did my TED talk about, was um, horses. And that was the one thing at, even at Date with Destiny, at that event with Tony, where my partner was like, every time, and I had this beautiful horse necklace, and he says, every time you touch that necklace and talk about your horses, you light up. So I started like digging into that and thinking about like what was speaking to my soul. And it may not be horses for you, it may be something else, and it doesn't matter. But when you think about, when you're having a crap day, what's the one thing that'll kind of bring a smile to your face? And maybe it's the same thing that's causing your crap day, especially if you have children. But you get my point. What's that one thing that really sings to your soul? And for me, it was horses. And so I started developing programs, and after having gone to Tony Robbins and saying to myself, oh my God, what he's doing with people, I'm doing with horses. It's the same. And this is 2011, guys. Was 14 years ago that I was having this conversation. And when someone reached out to me from the rescue organization, and they wanted me to help them get a horse adopted. And it was kind of a special circumstance. And I was at Date with Destiny at the time, but I left. I left the event because I knew that I needed to go to the rescue. And so that's what I did. And again, leaving a Tony Robbins event, you need a good reason, especially where I was in my life. So I left and I went and I worked with the family, and it got me involved with the rescue. And then meeting Denise and adopting two horses from that organization, and Bella was one of them. And so fast forward, gosh, 11 year 14 25, 11 years later, and here I am, spending some time with her, and we've remained friends, and she's been a continued support of what I'm doing with horses. And so that was a really a lot. And I tell you all of this kind of origin story because there's so much to it. I got my first horse by the winnings I got from a slot machine jackpot, all from that to a really devastating divorce to losing, all of these kind of seemingly negative things. But then one of the things Tony really taught me, and I've learned at a very deep level since then, was what if the pain was a gift? What if even the pain you're experiencing is a gift? And you can look at that as a way to give you contrast, kind of like if your canoe is to hit the rocks up against the bank, or whatever makes sense to that metaphor for you, to realize that all of those things led me to here. And so I was in South Florida. I was experiencing a lot of pain. I put on a lot of weight. I was really, honestly, yeah, it was a tough 3 years. So, not to go too much into the details of it, because it's not, sometimes the details are not important. Sometimes they are, kind of like knowing the background of a horse. It's important for me to know that, if certain specific things have happened, but I don't need to know, because I've seen it. You start seeing the patterns, and that's what's that, and Tony even talks about that, looking for patterns of behavior. And once is an incident, twice is a coincident, by the third time you're at a pattern. And with a horse, you get real quick to where it's a habit and you don't even realize you're doing it. A horse that paws or has like, kind of a chewing your nails or smoking your cigarettes kind of behavior. But when you start noticing it, guess what? You can start noticing the causations and correlations behind it, and start digging into it, and stop blaming the pattern and just start getting curious about it. Anyway, I digress. Meanwhile, I'm looking at my life going, I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm seeing a pattern of, what I'm into. And every time I come back to the horses and what's really, important to my soul, I get aligned. And I wrote earlier this morning, hustling without alignment will burn you out. And that's exactly what happened. I burned out. I burned out in 2021 in a massive way. And it almost happened again in 2024. But when you have to do something, you do it. And I don't recommend that path though, because you can choose to do it sooner. And I say lower your tolerance for pain, kill the monster while it's little, kind of thing. So when you start noticing that, oh, my canoe's going towards the rocks, realign and then hustle, because the hustle then is effortless. It is effortless to me. I mean, people will be like, Jen, you haven't eaten in like 16 hours. I'm like, no, come on, let's go play with this horse, So that, for me, I know where my heart is. The good thing is that I've now had, 10, 11, 12 years of this sovereign journey of experience and gaining and gleaning wisdom, and tens of thousands of hours of continued research and study and understanding and praying and wisdom and da 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 da. Who here is with me on this? Right. And so to learn and understand the strategies behind what you have to do in order to take this to the next level is stop, collaborate, and listen. Literally stop and talk to the people that are doing things that you would like to do, that have been where you've been, and listen. And I don't ever quote it properly, but be still and trust and know that I am God. And that's what I did. And I reconnected with people I haven't spoken to in 17, 18, 19 years. And they're supporting this. They're supporting what I'm doing. So okay. So that's the big drum roll, please. What is it that I'm doing? What is Road to the Rescue? What is Xenogen? People are asking me all the time. And I'm like, well, it's healing with horses. Well, what does that mean? We lay on a massage table and that stuff. You see that all over the internet. And it's deeper than that even. And because it crosses such a broad spectrum. If you think about horses, they raised our families back in the day in the industrial age. They carried them, even before that. Military, they fought our wars. They plowed our fields. They fed our families, like it or not. There's so many things that, it's like that Shel Silverstein book, The Giving Tree. There's so many things that horses have offered us throughout history. And now it's the rich person that has the horse and the poor person that has the car, not the other way around. So when you look at that, you say, what does the horse have to offer us these days? Well, we don't need to, we are very sophisticated in our creativity and how to exploit this poor animal. But what if we were to tap into their vibration and where they are and raise our level of consciousness? Because empathy and compassion, my friends, is a higher level of consciousness than force and manipulation. It gets the job done, just has a different flavor, a different color. And one is more connected to source than the other. And I believe that is what has aligned me to this. So my horses are at my dear friend Rose's, one of the people I haven't spoken to in over a decade. That said, sure, not only will I, put your horse at my horse at summer camp, but she came down and helped me get him too. So we had this great road trip. I got to reconnect with a sister and, really be in her life. And I believe with full faith that I'm being led by God to people that are showing up in my life, like Lisa, who used to work for me, is now collaborating with me. She's helped me with my logo and some of my marketing stuff. In fact, some of the things I'm going to be sharing with everyone, including yourselves, and involving the Zen Club, my contribution community, opportunities to take my Persona Intelligence course, which is my it's essentially a retreat in a box. When COVID hit, I took everything that was really all the powerful content and put it into a virtual space. We did it 5 times over the course of like 6 months and really put something together that's incredible and polished. And I've had some business advisors share with me, like, this is an incredible, collaborative, just a creation and a curriculum. So did that. And that's what I'm doing now. So my horses are at summer camp and for now. And I'm really excited to see what this summer brings. I'll be going to New Smyrna Beach here next week. So those of you that are following me, I'll be there for about 6 weeks. And then in the month of May, if anyone interested in like a cool road trip can meet me along the way, we're going to be posting a calendar that inside my Zen Club that shows exactly where I'm going. So if you want to be involved in that, just raise your hand or drop me a message, because I'm going to be all over the Midwest. I'm going to be taking Highway 10 all the way across the southern part of the United States, going up 35 and then across 90 and then back down. So I'm making like a big loop. And it started at mile 0 a few weeks ago for those of you that are following me. So we're putting together I'm a little behind on all the digital stuff, but maybe that's because I've been on the road a lot. So bear with me as I continue. But these lives, if you're watching these, this is where you're going to be getting the latest and up-to-date stuff, because it's me talking directly to you. So right now I'm getting ready to go to a museum exhibit with my friends, and I'm excited about that. And the road to the rescue is really important to get. And because what we're doing is helping horse rescues. And I'm going to rescues for periods of time to come in and volunteer and contribute to them and share what this mission is. Because I believe that everyone deserves to have a life-changing experience with the horse that maintains the dignity of the animal and raises the level of consciousness for both individuals. And how I plan to do that isn't by having you come to me, although that will be an option again in the near future. Stay tuned. But I'm coming to you, and I'm coming to almost 25 states to do this work in the month of May. And then I'm going to be bringing it back and just continuing to say, this is what we're going to do. So it's a long mission. It's got some depth to it. And what I'm doing is bringing something that's a value add to the horse rescues. And by giving people an experience that maintains the dignity of the animal. So thanks for tuning in, guys. That's a little bit of the story. More to come about what we're going to be up to. Make sure you're following me. I'm doing my best to go live pretty much every day. Shooting for the 10 a.m. hour, but we'll see how that goes. And if you're interested in being involved in the contribution community, a portion of the proceeds does go to horse rescue. And we're going to be having an entourage of amazing individuals supporting this. And I'll be working with a lot of different horses, not just my guys anymore. My guys are semi-retired now, but we'll be in your neck of the woods if you're eastern part of the well, no, I'm going to Missouri, so Kansas City West. So Kansas City East. So anywhere east of the Kansas City, pretty much the entire eastern part of the United States. So I'm going to be doing my best to hit as many places as possible in the month of May. And next year, we're going to be laying it all out, supporting rescues and doing this in a really beautiful way. So thank you for everyone that is being involved. I am doing a lot of things, getting my nonprofit back up and running. So that's available to everyone now. So, you can donate and or you can contribute, or you can be a part. There's just a lot of ways to get involved, no matter where you live in the United States. So I appreciate all of you that are tuning in and following my journey. And I'll put the link in the comments as far as anyone that would like to get involved, or just drop me a message. I'd love to chat with you. All right. Have a blessed day, everyone. Believe in yourself. It will change your life. I got to end with that. Take care. Bye.